How was it like taking it from the Twitter account to a movie? Yeah, so the first draft of the script was 2006. The Twitter account, I think, went live 2010, and at the time, it was because Sam started saying these "dear white people" jokes in the script, and I wanted to know what people would say about that and think about that. And at the time, the script was called 2%. Because it was about the 2% black population at this college. And I just sort of used it to test out her voice, frankly, and to see how people would respond to her and use it as a way to sort of think like her throughout the day. I had a day job. I was a publicist for some years. And, I couldn't really spend my time doing character work. I was working. So, I had the Twitter account to just like try her out. And positive and negative, the responses to that Twitter account really, really informed the film, how the black and white characters respond to her in the film, and really the dear white peoples that made the movie are the ones that were retweeted the most, frankly. So for me, it was a writing tool. It was just a way to sort of like keep thinking like her, really, And when we were able to make the concept trailer to actually get the financing, we had a little bit of an audience and we're able to sort of like play around in that world even more. So that was just sort of like frosting on the cake, when I started the script, it was much more like Nashville than Do the Right Thing. There were like 7 characters and there was a lot of story going on. I think the first draft was like 175 pages. So, ain't nobody was going to give us no money for that. So, we had to kind of whittle it down to the ones that felt the most urgent. But, if Lionsgate gives me a TV show, I guarantee there will be many more stories to be told. So I don't know. There's a ton of stuff. There's a ton of stuff that I've written, that I've thought about, stuff that's come out of conversations like this, about people wondering why this issue wasn't covered or wanted to know about, what's going on with Sung Mi, what's her deal? And, that's all got, I'd love to get into that. I really, really would. So hopefully someone will give me money and time to do that.
In what ways does a film titled Dear White People empower black people on and off college campuses?
I don't know if my job is to empower people. My job as a storyteller is to sort of tell the truth in some way about the human condition. I think the audience's job is to take what they will from the film and go out into the world and do something with it. I think with the film Dear White People, it works in 2 ways for me. For me, like I got to get butts in seats. I mean, that's my job. Like if I call my movie, multi-protagonist black college movie, no one would come see it. So, I sort of like, for me, like I wanted to have a title that clutter busted, because particularly, with the Black Smart House, which I strive for this to be, there's a lot of us out here trying to make independent film and say things that aren't being said in the mainstream, and it's really difficult to get people to pay attention. So, for me, I thought the title did that, and also I think the title says something about this idea that black culture has to in some way always be a response to white or mainstream culture. And so for me, that's really what the title does, for me as a filmmaker. That's why I went with it. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and I grew up in thank you. All right, there we go. Third Ward represent. But I grew up in like a very like black neighborhood. But, my mom is Creole. My mom does not look black in any way, shape, or form. So that hand-holding thing might have been slightly autobiographical. But she would always bust me off to magnet programs. So I would always be in these sort of like, you know all about it. Okay. So, I would oscillate between these worlds where I was like definitely the black kid, and I'd go back to my neighborhood and I wasn't black enough. I was whitewashed. I talk white. And so I was always in between. I just always was. And, add being gay on top of that's a whole situation. So, but I wish my college experience was as happy and fulfilling as yours. I remember, sitting in the BSU first few meetings, and, I was like in this group of people, and I was like, I don't even like these 2 people that I'm sitting next to, but they're the first black people I saw. So we just are sitting together, and we would have these conversations like, are we just friends because we're black? Like, I just, just the sort of like stepping in between the worlds thing, was always really weird for me to navigate. And because some of my interests align with my race and some don't, and some people are very, very confused by that. But so I think that's where Lionel came from. Lionel really came from me, sort of like beginning my experience as a black man, not knowing where on earth I fit in, and sort of like graduating through the years to a Sam, where it's fight the power and yes, black cinema, but I don't know. Frankly, I'm all of them, even Coco sometimes. Sorry, but it's true. I'm all of them. And I think that's sort of, the point that I'm trying to make too.